Touchdown Tampa Bay. You're listening to the PewterCast.
Hello? Hello? Something's wrong here. Brent, you didn't show up.
What?
I said you didn't show up.
For what?
The start of the podcast. The start of the podcast.
Are we doing a podcast?
Yeah. It's been scheduled all week. Actually, all year. It's first. You weren't ready? You weren't ready for it?
Well, I had a good week of practice, and preparation was there. But really, we're doing a show?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You might want to bring some pressure before the third quarter.
Well, All right. Well, I guess. All right. Let's try it. Welcome to the PewterCast. I'm Brent Allen, your host, and that guy over there, that's Ren. And wow, it's nearly midnight, Ren.
It is.
We got a game to talk about. No, we don't. That's the thing. We don't have a game to talk about.
We have something to talk about.
We have a shit show to talk about, but it's not a game.
It wasn't a competition.
No. And I don't even have anything to say. Now I'll let you talk. People will call in here in a little bit. I'll let them talk, but I'll be honest. I just don't have anything to say.
Oh, that's too bad, because I was kind of hoping you did. Because I don't want to talk about this. I mean,
I'm sorry. For everyone out there, there's nothing to talk about with this. This game is what it is. It is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no defending it. There's no dissecting it. There's no analyzing it. This is one of those things that the Bucs they need to go to bed, sweep this one under the rug, and start again tomorrow. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those games. And that's the only thing I can think right now.
Okay. Burn the tape is what you're saying?
No. Shoot a fucking hole in the side of the camera that made the tape.
Okay. What?
And then the guy who was holding the camera, run him out on a rail and tar and feather him.
Keelhole him?
I mean, it just, oh my gosh.
It didn't start well.
It never started. Jameis
looked good.
As a Jameis fan, I was kind of happy to see him.
Oh God, I was.
I always like Jameis. I really do. We've said it. We spent 5 years on this show trying to come to his defense, and it was a little, bittersweet, absolutely bittersweet. He looked god awful in those colors. Anyway,
yeah,
this is gonna be one of those. Hi to everybody out there who's watching live, YouTube and Twitter, Periscope, PewterCast.live. Where else are you gonna be? Facebook, all those places out there. Yeah, Ren, I'm real serious on it. I don't, this is about the most I think I'm going to talk, as far as this thing goes tonight.
Sure.
I'll be here as long as you want to talk and as long as people want to call in and talk. But after that, if this show goes 20 minutes or if this show goes 2 hours, it'll be whatever. But it's just a show. You got anything for us before we open up the phone lines?
Sure.
I don't have any thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, it couldn't have started any worse. The Bucs did play action on their first 2 first downs and didn't pick up a first down. Didn't run the ball on first down. When they did run the ball, which apparently was only 5 times the whole game, and 2 of them were in the first 2 series. I thought they did okay running the ball, but they made the choice where they were going to start throwing the ball, and rightfully so. Brady couldn't find anybody. I don't know if he was trying to force the ball to somebody, which was weird. Like him and Gronk. Wait a minute. Do we have Super Chat linked up?
Apparently we do. I tried turning that on and I wasn't sure how to do it, but maybe I actually did it the other day. We got a Super Chat. XCLU Garvey.
You got to pull it up on the bottom there. There we go.
Yeah, he says, can we talk about Todd? I'm assuming that's Todd Bowles in the game plan and how he refused to blitz or play man.
Yes, we can. I'm glad you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that Super Chat, Garv. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was something that we didn't like in the Giants game, right? There was the cornerbacks played way off, and he didn't bring any blitzes. He brought 4, and he switched up on the 4 that he brought, but he didn't really bring a lot of pressure. The Saints seemed to come in with a game plan as we're going to do double moves on Dean, either like the inside out or stop and goes. Or if not, we're just going to put anybody and everybody in Devin White's zone and just throw it to him. It didn't matter if it was the starting tight end, the 3rd wide receiver, the 3rd tight end, the running back. It didn't matter. And they just threw wherever Devin White was. And, they had their way with them. The defense played okay in the second half, but you don't know really how hard the Saints were really trying. The Saints didn't punt in the first half at all. They stopped. They got stopped twice. Once the guy fumbled the ball on the 2-yard line. The second one, the same guy dropped a first down catch that they kicked a field goal. And the third time, I guess you count as a stop because they kneeled down with like 30 seconds left in the second quarter. So the defensive performance was disappointing. The scheme the defense ran was disappointing. The offensive performance was, just what's worse than disappointing? Hugely disappointing, very, very disappointing. Like what are you going to say about that? And, the sort of the creativity that never shows on the offensive side of the ball, they could have used some today. Brady wasn't sharp early, but he didn't try to push the ball down the field until they were down 21-0. And I don't mean like push the ball down the field like deep. I mean, push the ball down the field past the sticks. And the only time he did it, it felt like to me, was when he was out of options and was about to get sacked. So he just went for the one-on-one deep shot. He just threw it up. And it was basically more avoiding for sack. Maybe I'll get lucky on this one. Brady didn't look good. He looked confused, just like he looked confused in the Giants game. Whatever this new defensive scheme, if the Saints, this was it. It was the Bucs receivers against the Saints DBs. Like that was the weak link. And they didn't show a lot of receivers going out downfield, but the few times they did on replay, the guys were open. He wasn't finding them. It was super frustrating. And they got pinned deep early. They couldn't flip the field with the wind on the punts, and they just sort of like just short. They knew we know what they're going to do. They're going to throw the ball short of the first down line and beat you 7 yards at a time because Drew Brees and the team is disciplined enough to do that. And they did it. They absolutely did it. And it was really frustrating. Kamara didn't beat us. The other 12 guys that kept caught up, like everyone beat us. Like
everyone caught a ball on that team.
There was no one was in the
even one of their defensive linemen caught a ball.
Oh God, you knew it was going to go bad when that happened.
Look, here's the thing. I mean, the Bucs just didn't look like the Bucs. They just didn't. And
they did.
Well, I get what you're saying. They did not look like the 2020 Bucs. Not what we've seen so far.
There you go.
This defense did not look like Todd Bowles' defense. This defense was not. We were missing Vita Vea, but we've missed Vita Vea for weeks now.
Right.
So
and the run
that's
defense
not an
was
excuse
fine.
Anymore. What?
The run defense was fine up the middle.
Sure.
I mean, they got us a couple times on the edges, but
Sure.
everyone saw like Vontae David's clapping at something twice.
Yeah,
Once
he was.
it cost,
Absolutely.
I don't want to say it cost a touchdown because they were already down there.
Yeah.
But the two times he wasn't even paying attention, the ball was snapped, and everyone was in motion but him already. One ended up thrown at him because Breeze picked it out. Good job by him for a touchdown, the only touchdown of the second half. And then where they ran it off edge, I think it was early in the third quarter, and they went for like 14 yards, 19 yards, something like that. So what we're missing is the pressure up front that Vita Vea can bring, and taking the double teams off Golson and Sue. And so, but I'm not really, I wasn't expecting that. We needed a game from JPP and Shaq, and it wasn't there.
Right.
Like we
needed Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield to show up, and they were barely there.
We get our asses kicked by the Saints offensive line and the Saints defensive line every time we play them.
Yeah.
They kick our ass.
Yep.
Donovan Smith gave up a sack 3 plays in a row.
Yeah. And I want to talk about Donovan Smith here in just 1 second. I do want to, once again, because I know there's been a bunch of new people in the chat room. Welcome to everybody who is here joining us live at YouTube and Periscope and Twitter and the PewterCast.live and Facebook and all of that. I know as I'm watching the chat, there are some fans of the Saints that are in here. There are some people who are probably not even fans of either team who are just in here. And our rule here is everyone is welcome. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's it. Just everyone's welcome. Just don't be a dick. And if you are, you'll get blocked. So it's not us being soft. It just, and I'm not saying you have to be nice. You want to trash talk a little bit. Okay, fine. But don't, just watch it. All right. Let's have a constructive conversation.
Yeah, just watch it. I got my eye on you.
Hey, I'm watching.
Whoever.
Watching. Ren, you're talking about Donovan Smith. And speaking of which, it's almost as if you saw it. We have another super chat, which is super cool. Donovan Smith is absolute trash from Lap Gonzalez. Look, Donovan Smith let 3 sacks go 3 times in a row. He did. He just did. Now, I know he wasn't the only one who had issues on that, but his guy 3 times in a row got in and touched Brady and was a part of a sack. One of them got called back because of a defensive hold, but still 3 plays in a row.
They gave us the first down, and then I think by third down it was like 3rd and 34.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Right.
Yeah, someone called in and said, I was yelling at Donovan Smith, and I guess he had one of his good games. I'm like, I take it all back. I said, just wait. Just wait. You'll be back on the train. Don't worry about it. And that's Donovan Smith. Like, it is what it is. I don't think there's even a point now, even if he plays his best football the next 7 weeks, 7 games, because it's too late. Like you're done. Like, you cannot, unless you take, like, if Donovan Smith goes, I want to stay, pay me half of what you owe me, then I'd think about it.
Does this include, Ren, because I asked you about this a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
I did.
What'd
about, well, I think I think what I said was left tackle has to be the number 1 need on the team. And you said no, because we have that position under contract and set. If we stay there, we have a bunch of other holes that are not under contract for next year.
Correct.
And you had a great point on that. But are we at a point where, hey, can we go back to saying left tackle is the number 1 need on our team?
I'm not going to sit here and say number 1 need. I'm going to say it's a definite need. It needs to be addressed. But we have to see, by the way, you froze on my screen. But you're back.
Cool.
Okay. No, wait, maybe you're not. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, no, I mean, it's a definite need, and I would love to see it addressed. But if push comes to shove with, the salary cap, we don't know what's going to happen. And it's just along the defensive line, there's just too many more question marks. That's all there is to it. JPP's not signed. I don't think Golson's signed. Sue's not signed. Shaq Barrett's not signed. Like, everyone but Vita Vea, like, the whole starting defensive line isn't signed, except for one guy. So I think, that's the biggest need. But I will definitely think that, left tackle in the first round's on the table, no matter where that ends up being. Yeah. Or a tackle, if you want to move worse over to left, whatever they want to do. But as, like, your biggest need, like, I just can't say that because, what does Jason Light like to do? And well, I guess all teams like to do it, but you want to go into the draft with be able to field the team as if you had no draft picks. You can't fill out your roster with your draft pick. You can't go, okay, we don't have we don't have 2 starting safeties. We'll just draft one. And that's what Jason Light does, and he hooks it up. So
yeah. We'll see what he does. Hey, XCLU Garvey's got another super chat in here. Mike Smith's defense today. It felt like it.
It was the same thing with the Giants. It was, and I hope this question gets asked of Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to word it because I haven't watched enough of Todd Bowles's pressers to know how to word this. Because what is he going to say? Like, what are you doing playing off ball? You did it against the Giants. You had an uninspired effort. You did it against the who we play Saints. It was another defensive uninspired effort. Why are you playing 7 to 8 yards off the wide receivers, especially in an offense that they're going to throw short? And the Giants, like you had after about 2 series, you figured out that's what their plan was too. So why do you refuse to change until it's almost too late? Like he didn't change the Giants game till halftime. He didn't change in the Saints game until you're down 31-0 at half before he decided to start bringing some pressure and making, look, you're going to have to hold up outside. Well, but down 31-0, it's way too late. Like, once they scored 14, when they marched right down the field and then did it again, but fumbled the ball in the 2, like that's the time to start making changes. So, but I'm sure he's going to say, well, we have a different game plan for every team we play. And that's what we're planning on doing. And so we'll see what, whatever we decide next week, me and the coaches. And it's like, okay, but can't make a fish climb a tree.
There you go. Garv gives us one more. It says, like the stream, please. Garv, you are on fire. And yes, thank you guys. Please like the stream, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We definitely will appreciate that. Hey, Ren, why don't we go ahead and open up the phone lines? We got a handful of people in the chat room are saying that they want to call in. So you guys want to call in, you go ahead and do that. 864-729-BUCKS. That's 864-729-2827. Please remember, we only do have one phone line. So if the phone line's busy, just wait for it to clear and then call back. And if I keep declining you, it's just because somebody else is on hold. Or join the video chat here.
Is Brent frozen on anyone else's YouTube stream?
Am I?
Yeah, you've been frozen on mine since I said you were, and then you weren't for like a half a second. Yeah, I've been since then.
Interesting.
I just want to know.
I'll tell you what. Hey, I'm gonna let you and Corey talk this out for a minute.
Wait, you're back. Hey, okay. Corey.
Hey guys.
Hello. How are you feeling?
I'm just tired and chowing down on some king rolls. King's Hawaiian rolls.
I've never seen that.
They're like sweet little rolls.
I know what they are.
Okay.
I've just never seen one eat them like a bag of chips.
I mean, that's where I am. That's where my head's at.
All right, man.
Today. So you guys are just talking about it, and they're talking about it in the chat as well. Bruce came out and said the game plan was to rush 4 and drop into zone.
Right. Okay, it didn't work.
So there's so many questions there. All of us know that that's a bad idea. Like we've talked about it a lot. I listen to a bunch of Bucs podcasts. I know people listening to this podcast listen to a bunch of Bucs podcasts. And so many of us have said, this team isn't good when we only rush 4 and drop back into zone. So
no.
Is that our plan against Drew Brees, who gets the ball out quickly and can pick up our zone defense like nobody's business?
I think they were trying to keep the short passes in front of him and come up and make the tackle. I think that was the game plan. And it looked pretty good, except there was no pressure because Brees was having to go to his second and third options a lot.
So
in that first quarter and second, then the first half,
like you're dealing with a quarterback who his main slam is he can't throw the ball deep, and you're allowing him to throw underneath. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, and come up and make the tackle.
I'm
saying that's the game plan. It's that. But if he's going to throw short and you go like it's a safer game plan. you can throw short and play man to man, but we also know that we have a hard time with crossing routes and slants, and it would have been the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would have liked to mix and match. I'm not saying that was the right way to go.
Yeah.
I don't understand why only rushing 4 to Drew Brees. Like, I don't understand why that was the game plan. I get it. At least pressure wise.
And you can justify it, but then like you said, okay, it clearly wasn't working. So why we wait till the third quarter to start bringing extra guys, which suddenly started working.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
Crazy.
They didn't score a touchdown. I don't know.
So, and this is the bigger picture, and I've been a big Bruce Arians fan, especially just his leadership and the gravitas that he comes with him, and the respect that he garners. And I felt like we needed a coach with respect because we haven't had one in a while.
Right.
But I'm wondering if that respect's going away. It's pretty hard to lose like this on a national stage and keep your head up and keep your respect. And I know maybe in the locker room, the players are probably like, oh, it's all on us or whatever. I don't know who they blame in the locker room, but man, this is.
Yeah. If I was so upset at halftime, I mean, like upset, where somebody tweeted at me something, they were making fun of me. And I almost tweeted like, why don't you go fuck off? Like, seriously. And I had to erase it. Like, I'm about to push send. It was typed out. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what? Like, what that person's doing is they're upset and they have emotionally invested in this team, like we all have.
Yeah.
And I said something that I thought was going to happen in this game, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. And
he couldn't he can't lash out at Brady. He couldn't lash out at Bowles. I was the only person he could lash out at the time. So he lashed out at me. Okay. It took me 30, 40 seconds to realize that. But as far as like holding, like, by the time the game ended, like, I was just like, huh, like I was over being mad. I really was. The NFL is a week-to-week league, but it is starting to trend to having these uninspired defensive showings. I mean,
are you saying that across the whole league, Ren, or are you specifically talking about for the Buccaneers?
I'm specifically talking about for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Like that after that Green Bay game, like we haven't really had, and I'm not saying you have to duplicate that, but like getting 3 and outs or stopping the team and making them flip the field, or, like stopping them where when they punt, we get the ball like plus 35. Like that doesn't happen. Like they get 2 or 3 first downs and they pin us deep. And so now the offense has to go the whole way on the field. Now I understand the defense's job is for not score points, so who cares? But yeah, it's the team isn't trending the right way now. And the one thing that I guess upset me, well, I don't say upset me the most, but I was like really ready. I'm really ready for Devin White to shut his mouth on the field. I'm ready for him to quit every time he makes a tackle, because in coverage he is so bad. He is quickly becoming a faster Quan Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a more talented Quan Alexander.
Yeah. But in what? He's still like, he's a better tackler than Quan, but he still also takes bad angles sometimes.
Yeah.
And is he worse? Is he better in Quan in coverage?
What does Pro Football Focus say? Because they hated Quan.
I don't know, man. But like watching, when I was really, really upset, I'm watching that game and I'm like, I just want Devin White to shut his mouth and play football. Like his pad should say can't cover, not be live. Like, like I'm about done with the shtick of his, like just cover the tight end. If you're so stupid fast, how old is Cook? Like 39?
Yeah, he's just really tall.
But like do your job. And but I'm also like, I'm also afraid about how the defense doesn't get up in games early on, especially
Yeah.
empty stadiums. And I'm looking for Devin White to do that because
Yeah.
Levante David won't. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So,
Yeah.
Well-
Hey, with that, hey Corey, we've got a bunch of people that are lining up
Yeah.
that want to jump in here. So I'll give you a chance for any last thing you want to say, and then I'm gonna get you out of here.
I don't know where this ranks on you guys' blowout list, but I think this one's right up there. I was at that Falcons blowout game in Thursday Night Football. I was there for that one.
all right.
I'm not sure if this was more embarrassing than that one or not. I was also at the Jacksonville one where Blaine Gabbert blew us out in 2011, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, how about that Ravens win too from Lovie Smith years? So hey, we've got all these blowout losses we can start talking about. What's your favorite? I don't know.
This one, I got to tell you, this one for me personally got to a point where it went from like I think I went through the whole dabda. Like I went from disbelief to anger.
Dabda.
I skipped bargaining, right? Like, and I got to laughing.
Yep.
And eventually to accept, like I just started laughing about it. Like every time I was shaking my head, I was laughing. Listen, this is one for me that like the last blowout I remember being pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And we've covered a handful of them on this show, Ren, over the years. And I mean true blowouts, not just losses, but full blowouts. And I remember being pissed. I'm not pissed at this one.
No.
Like I just don't have much for this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the most talented team that has been blown out that we've had, though, which is very concerning.
Maybe we'll see. As Ren keeps saying, and he's been saying it again and again and again. This is a week-to-week league. This is a week-to-week league. And hey, listen, whoever keeps calling and calling and calling and calling, I got one phone line.
I'll dip out.
No, you're fine. This isn't on you, Corey. So you keep hanging up and calling and calling and calling and calling. I'll get to you when I get to you. Yeah. So hang on hold, and I promise you, I'll get to you in due order. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I was doing that on my phone.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You're calling from California.
Yeah.
Corey, man, thank you so much. It's always good to talk to you.
Night,
and we'll talk to you next week. Okay, pal?
Off to bed.
All right.
Night, Corey.
So that caller, if you would have just waited instead of hanging up and calling back, you actually been in right now, but you're not, because
It's on
now
a radio station.
Yeah, right. Because now we're gonna go to Maya. I can never pronounce your name right. Which remind me one more time. Which one is it?
You said Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
Maya. All right, Maya. Welcome back to the show. It's so good to see you again.
Good to see you guys. Well, yeah, it's good to see you guys too, but not.
I had to think about. Well,
This is the
maybe
best
not.
video you're gonna watch all night.
Well, maybe not see you guys, but whatever. What do you got
Talk to
for
us,
us?
Maya.
I just gotta say this: when Bruce Arians leaves, I don't want Byron Leftwich to be the head coach because I don't understand how you can run the ball 4 times and have Tom Brady throw like 52 times, and then it's like, okay, I understand that you want to switch it up instead of running on first down like you've been doing for the past 7 weeks after we told you to switch it up, and then you do. Then it's like, oh, here, I'm going to pass every first down. And then here, I'll just throw it to Fournette for 2 yards because that's all he can average. And then, I'll just stay here in the pocket and I won't move until a defender's right at me. And then I'll try to throw it. And if you've noticed, we've been saying, why doesn't Tom Brady just throw it up to Mike Evans? Do you know how many times he threw the ball up and it wasn't to Mike Evans and it was always intercepted, or it was to Gronk, or it was, oh my gosh, I literally can't. It just aggravated the heck out of me. It really did, because the Saints don't respect our team. Like Cameron Jordan at the beginning of the season straight up told the Bucs, like, you're not gonna win, we're gonna win, blah 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 blah. He publicly humiliated Donovan Smith on Twitter, and Donovan Smith is just like, he doesn't care. And it just shows, like, this team has no respect, and yet you let them come into your house and put up 38 points. They scored 28 points in the first half. And our defense
They scored
averaged,
31 points in the first half.
31 points in the first half, so I'm sorry. And it's like, our defense averages what? They give up 20 to 21 points a game. And then you think that we say in prime time they always play bad. How do you think this team's going to look when we go to the playoffs? If we go,
Yeah.
because by that performance, it's just like it's
Well, the
just
playoffs
so,
are usually during the day, so
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you know what's not during the day is the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is usually at night. Now, maybe not 8 o'clock at night, but it's still at night.
Super Bowl? You're talking
Super
Super
Bowl?
Bowl?
After that performance,
Yeah, that's what hurts the most as a fan, is that, like Saints fans came at us this week, because it was an important game. And Saints fans have owned us for a while now. Like, without Fitzmagic, throwing for 400 yards and scoring 48 points in week 1, 2, 3 years ago, whenever that was. Like, we haven't, they've owned us. And now it was for us to sort of meet on a level playing ground where not only we thought we were better, everyone thought we were better. Everyone at NBC picked us. It was a clean sweep. No one picked the Saints out of the 7 people. Like, they had the people, the people vote. Bucs, the guy at the stadium, Bucs, Coach Dungy, Bucs, Mike Tirico, Bucs, Chris Sims, Bucs. Like, they all picked the Bucs, and then they went and laid that egg, and I stuck up for you all week to these people.
exactly.
And now you made me look like a fool, and you don't care. Donovan Smith, I don't care what you say. Like, I like the guy personally. Like, I've heard him speak enough off the field where I like him.
Mhm.
He doesn't give a fuck where he plays. He wants to set up his family for the rest of his life, which is great.
That's
but
fine.
he doesn't give a shit if he gives up a sack. He doesn't care. He could how many times I've just seen the guy standing there and the play's still going on.
Oh my God.
He does not care. And then you see that effort, it's hard to not take that effort and extrapolate from those people. Like, you have no pride, you have no guts, you don't freaking care. And it compounds it because I popped off at the mouth all week, and now you make me look stupid.
Well,
and I want to take it out of your ass, you crap faces.
Mia, I want to ask you a question. I want to bring you into this because you came in here talking about Byron Leftwich, and whenever BA goes, and that is a whenever, not an if ever. Whenever he goes, not wanting Byron Leftwich. However, BA said this, and we got this in as a super chat today. Talking about BA in his post-game press conference, he says the game plan today was to play more zone to get the front 4 home. What are your thoughts on that idea of playing like that kind of defense? I know Ren and I talked about it a little bit at the top of the show, but this was brought up. So I want to get your thoughts on it while we got you here.
Well, didn't they do that last week? They did that last week against the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to the extent they did it today. It got worse today.
But we see, we have known since the Mike Smith era, this team cannot play zone. So I don't understand. You don't have, first of all, Shaq ran his mouth in the off season, and he hasn't done crap. I mean, he did get a play, but he's not making a difference in the game. Okay, JPP is not really making a difference in the game. That's why they use the linebackers on blitzes. So now that you have a chance to take the division in a division game, you decide to let's just try to do it with 4. You can't do it. It's evident you can't do it. I don't know why we're trying to force something that's not there. Do what you're best at. Play to your strengths. That's it.
Blitz Devin White, because if he's blitzing, he's not in coverage.
Exactly. Did you see?
You want to blitz? You want to only push 4. Make sure one of them's Whitehead and the other one's Devin White.
This is the only thing I can say that I've seen when he gave up that touchdown and when he gave up that touchdown last week. Mm-hmm. He's there to make the play. He just doesn't get his hands up. That's the only thing that I have seen. Maybe I'm wrong. But he's always been there to make the play. It's either he doesn't turn his head around fast enough, and he doesn't have his hands up to defend the ball. He just, But I did want to comment back on what you said about Donovan real quick. Did you see when we were on the 1 yard line and it was Fournette running for the touchdown, this dude got pushed back. And like as soon as the play started.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but that's the other thing. We're on the 1 freaking yard line. The first play, I knew he was going to throw it out to Mike Evans. And obviously it didn't work. But how do you get on the 1 yard line and you throw 3 times?
I don't mind. Yeah. Well, here's 2 things about that. One, like Rojo has become an elite guy running the ball inside like the 10, like the 6. Like you give him the ball, he's been able to punch it in. I was a little shocked he didn't get in. He got to run it once. 2, that felt that this game felt, and especially on that, first and goal thing, felt like Jameis and Mike, like it felt like Jameis Winston was going to go to Mike Evans no matter what because they wanted to show Lattimore that they could score on him.
Which is so stupid.
Which is really stupid. And I think like first off, the first pass to Mike was complete miscommunication. So what the hell's going on there? The fourth down, the second one to Mike on 4th down, it wasn't, it had to be a perfect throw. It wasn't that good. So, and then you ran 1 Fournette and 1 to Rojo. And, it's just like you sneak it once with Brady. Why are you trying to get Mike Evans touchdowns on Lattimore? Like the fade route is a really hard, it takes a perfect pass to do it.
Well,
and you tried it twice from the 1.
Yeah. Someone brought this up on a different Bucs channel I was watching, but Byron gave this press conference, and I stopped watching press conferences a long time ago because it's just a bunch of lies to me. But he was just basically like, oh yeah, like we got to get Mike more involved and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but when? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. There's no play design for Mike. This game plan for the offense was so bad. I promise you, if you go back and watch the tape, I believe this was 3rd and 3. And Brady threw to, I believe, Chris Godwin. He didn't catch it. But if you rewatch it, Mike and Jaden Mickens were both in the slot. And they both ran slants and they were in the same area. It was like, I don't see how that could possibly work because you have Lattimore right there. And then you have the other guy. And they were like 3 inches away from each other.
Well, I'll tell you something about Mike. And I can't say that I've done the film work or that I've gone back and looked at it. And maybe it has some teeth. But I'm at a spot where, the excuse for weeks has been, well, Mike's getting doubled every play. And so he's just not open, and Tom Brady's going to throw to the one who's open. Look, Mike Evans hasn't got more than like 5 targets in 10 games, and we've only played 9 this season. Okay? Like, he's not being targeted, period. He's just not being targeted for whatever reason. It's somebody in the chat room said earlier, like, what did he do? Did he hit on Giselle or something? Like, he's not being targeted. And it's more than he's getting doubled. There's something more to it than that. And I don't know what it is. And it's more than, well, he's got a bad hammy. It's more than he pulled a groin. It's more than whatever. And I'm not here to introduce any sort of conspiracy theories or anything like that.
I am. I was
go ahead
earlier.
Because I'm just saying he's just not getting targeted.
Yeah. And we're going to start hearing this because everyone's going to be at this point where like, okay, it's like, no, like this has to, and then especially once Lattimore left the game.
Exactly.
I stopped watching. Yeah, Lex Luthor got hurt. So like here's what it is. This is going to be the narrative that's going to go around. Tom Brady doesn't trust Mike Evans. And you're not going to have any evidence to dispute it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have to both have a press conference and both deny it. And Jenna Lane's going to ask every single person this week.
Oh my God.
Do you think Tom Brady trusts Mike Evans?
She's definitely going to do that.
I stopped watching like the press conferences like a long time ago because it was just a waste of my time. Like I felt like I was getting forced lies because they say one thing and then even during the game I was like I can't watch this because you're facing a team that doesn't really turn the ball over and yet your defense gifted you twice, and you could do nothing. And I know Shannon Sharp's going to slaughter our team tomorrow, so I'm not even going to watch that. But it's just, I really don't know what to say. I don't think any Bucs fan knows what to say about this game. And
no, we don't. And that's, I mean, Mia, that's how I open the show. Like, I don't have much to say about this game. I just don't, you know, because there's not much to really say. This was not the Buccaneers. It was historically what the Buccaneers were. Yes, obviously it was the Buccaneers. This is not who this team is this year. And I don't know what happened, right?
The Giants.
My little league team that I coach went out and got walloped in the first inning by 8 runs. 8 runs. That's not my team. My team can field better than that. They can hit better than that. All right. I'm not. And yes, for everyone out there, I am comparing a professional NFL football team to my little 8-year-old little league. All right. But and I'm sitting there as a coach just going, I don't know what the fuck's going on. What do you want me to do? I can't get out there and throw the ball. I can't get out there and hit the ball for them. They're just not doing anything.
How very Dirk Cutter of you. If I had the answers, I'd fix it.
If I had the answer, I'd fix it.
You know what?
If I get up there and do it for them, I would. So
you know what?
I got a whole bunch of people lining up. So I'm gonna let you go. Last point, and we're gonna let you get out of here. Okay.
Okay. My last point. You know what I don't want to hear when they do their press conferences or whatever is that, you know, they normally ask the defense, we know when they play bad or whatever, like, well, what happened? And usually the narrative is that, oh, you know,
I said
we just let up or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that because, again, there's no excuse for that. I'm tired of hearing that. We've heard it last year. We've heard it at the beginning of this year. Cut the crap. Just say that you weren't prepared and you didn't study. Just be honest. Because I'm tired of the BS. But that's
Just say you sucked. Just say you sucked. So, all right, we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Thank you.
Hey,
it'll be better next week.
Hopefully.
I would like to promise. Ren, I'm very excited to get this next person in on the video chat because I see a preview of what's about to come.
Oh, Jesus.
And it should be interesting. Let's bring our friend John. John Relios.
Look at this.
What's up, John? It's really nice to see you again. How'd you enjoy the game today? For those of you listening to the audio podcast later, John has taped over his mouth sort of a jack-o'-lantern smiley thing that, actually, speaking of my 8-year-old, probably he drew that.
Come on, it's better than that. It's all teeth. He taped
it's all teeth. It's all smiley
he
out
taped
there.
Smile over his face.
But it looks good on you, John. It looks real good on you, buddy.
I'm guessing that John is so mad that he's feigning a smile. He's hiding behind his mask.
Hey, you know what it is? He is being COVID responsible right now.
Yes,
and wearing his mask while we're social distancing here on the PewterCast. Is that what it is, John? He's nodding his head up and down. Yes.
Yeah.
John, you have been a fantastic caller as always. Fan favorite for sure. And we'll talk to you next week. Okay.
All right.
Oh, he's pulling it off.
No, he's putting it back on.
No. Hey.
Oh.
Hey, you all right, man?
No.
You gonna make it?
Yeah, but got a couple things. Just quick couple things.
Sure, man. Take your time.
Okay. First of all, Donovan Smith, his days are numbered. I want him gone. I don't care anymore. His days are after a performance like this. I want if this happens like next week, a head needs to roll. Something needs to change. A head needs to roll or something like that. Offense, defense, coaching staff. I don't know because it's not working.
Who would you pick to be the Queen of Hearts of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team?
Probably Tom.
He'd lop the head off. He'd make the order, lop the head off.
He's the one who gets the call. Is Tom?
Yeah, because he's the one who's making all the calls and bringing in guys and not throwing the guy.
It's Tom or Levante. One of those two. Maybe it's just depending on which side of the ball you're talking about. But
and it's just and this coaching staff, I don't know what to say about them. And it's true what they say. It's like it was him or Bowles is going to come in for our head coach right now. I don't know, because right now with me and the offensive defensive coordinator right now, I have a vote of no confidence right now. A vote of no confidence. I have lost like all confidence in them right now because I just
Can we do that as fans? Can we call for a vote of no confidence and get someone fired? Not that I want to. I feel like I want to.
Yeah,
But
I think we can. Like, I mean, that's got to be a pretty big, pretty loud, pretty concerted push. But you know, somebody's putting for sale signs in somebody's front yard and buying up billboards, and we get Scott over at Pewter Report writing up articles on it. That
yeah, I'm
worked
not
before
there
in the
yet.
past.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not
It's
there
just-
yet. I'm not there
I'm
yet.
not
at all.
even close.
By the way, I'm not joining that crowd.
and
But-
it's just that it's like we lost Alex Kappa, and this whole offensive line just crumbled. Joe Haig on his best day cannot tie Ali Marpet's boots. On Joe Haig's best day cannot tie Ali Marpet's boots on his best day, and it's just so that without Marley Marpet, our offensive line is done.
You know, I actually thought Joe Haig did fairly okay tonight.
I didn't really notice
no-
him.
Yeah, I didn't notice him at all. I am a person, Red, not always, but I am a person who tends to believe in the intangibles of something. And there really felt like something was missing on the offensive line across the board.
It's like the leadership or something that Ali Marpet.
Something was gone. Something intangible was there. Physically, I thought Joe Haig handled his assignments well. Now, again,
But-
I can't go back and say that was true for all 42 plays that the offense ran today because that's all they
We
ran.
gotta, don't worry.
I don't know if that's actually true or not.
Joe Haig and Donovan Smith. Joe Haig needs to team up with Donovan Smith to help him because he can't do shit for nothing.
Yeah. All right. John, real quick. Mark 504. This is 2 shows. We've stopped the show twice now to talk to you, and I've put you in timeout. So I'm going to block you forever because you haven't gotten the clue of we tell everybody, everyone's welcome. Don't be a dick, and you're just being a dick. So thanks for trying to come in and hang out, but you're now officially blocked from the PewterCast forever. Sorry about that, John. Just wanted to put that out there. And
I kind of liked Mark a little bit.
yeah. So anyway,
Honestly,
He was
John,
a
go ahead and
troublemaker. He
finish
was a
up that point, man.
troublemaker, though. He was a troublemaker.
it was like Donovan. It was like, do we have to double team with Donovan Smith again because he can't do shit for nobody now because he just can't block. He can't do anything. At this point, I'm just so sick of Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
At this point, I just want him gone next year. I don't even care.
yeah.
It's like, I'm just done. He's just nothing. And the defensive line, yeah, we have JPP shine for this year and next year, but I don't know. And then it's like,
Is JPP on a 2-year deal? Did he sign a new 2-year? So we got him for next year too.
2-year deal. Yeah. And then and it's like you can see without Vita Vea when it's just dreadful right now. Without Vita Vea, it's dreadful. But then it's like once again, it's like the guys who are not at rushing them have to do their job, and they're just not doing it right now.
Yeah.
Disappointing loss for sure.
Mhm.
Disappointing loss.
And I was
for
just
sure.
like you, Grant. At first, I was disappointed, and I got so angry, and then I was at that point. But at that point, I'm just laughing right now, where I'm just like the Joker now, where it's like this is not a tragedy, it's a comedy. It was a comedy at that point. I was just like the Joker in the movie. They're going, I was just laughing my ass off at the rest of the game. I was just laughing my ass.
Is that
That's
what
why I
is that what the mask was for? Oh,
That's
I
why-
got
John,
it.
take the rest of that off, buddy. Take the rest of that off. It's flying in the wind over there. John, I got kind of like everybody else. I got people lining up. I give you one more thing, and then we're gonna get you out of here.
All right. Hashtag free Mike Evans.
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you on that,
Yeah,
John.
I like that.
Yeah. Hey, make that happen. I really like that. Free Mike Evans. That's way better than hashtag I'm with 19. Wow, that's a throwback. All right, man. John, thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week. Okay, pal?
See ya.
All right. Hey, Ren.
He sounded very sad at the end.
I know. We got
See ya.
so many people
See ya.
lining up here. Hey, Ren, we got a question on the super chat. What teams are we in a race for the wild card with? I haven't checked the rest of the NFC standings.
All of them.
Yeah, we're still early in the season. We're still.
No, I
way
think
too
with
early in
this
the
loss,
season.
we went from being if we would have won, we would have been the number 1 seed in the NFC. We would have been
Right.
in line for the bye. I think
Okay.
now with this loss, we can get knocked down to 5. But like Seattle lost, Arizona lost, Chicago lost. So it was a good week to lose.
All right. Well, there you go. So we'll see. We'll see. But there's lots and lots of football to be played. I think either way, the Bucs make at least a wild card. If we don't win the division, we make at least a wild card getting into the playoffs. Does that sound?
Oh yeah. And that's
fair?
something we talked about we talked about at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like, like the Bucs, everyone did. The Bucs aren't going to win this division. The Saints are. Right. And the Bucs will be
whichever one doesn't gets the wild card.
And we were like that too. But, you fast forward 8 weeks and here we are with be able to take a 1.5 game lead on the Saints for the division and be the number 1 spot in the wild card after 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
And like it wasn't even close. It's like they didn't even, they didn't care. Like, oh, really? Oh, what? We were supposed to play tonight?
Right.
I don't even want to give that the Bucs play bad in primetime thing like any legs.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not.
But really,
yeah.
I mean, there's no evidence proving otherwise.
Yeah.
It's just so ugh.
Hey, let's discuss this real quick. Garv puts in another super chat. Allie and Donovan need to switch. Think about putting Allie out.
Allie's arms are too short.
Okay.
He'll get spiked when those people like JPP, when they come up and they spike him. I'm trying to get this on the camera. When they spike him like this on his shoulder, he can't reach them.
Okay.
That's why people with short arms play guard.
Gotcha. Now Tristan Wirfs. Okay, let me add to this.
Sure.
Is it time to move Tristan Wirfs over to the other side?
I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to overreact and pretend like I know.
Yeah.
But so what would you do? Flip Tristan Wirfs over and put Haig, or put Donovan over there? Because basically you're going to have Donovan learn a whole new position. And by the way, he's still going to have to go up against those guys anyway. Yeah. Because all the teams now flip-flop. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. Most of them flip-flop their best pass rushers right to left.
We saw it tonight. Cam Jordan was over both Tristan Wirfs and Donovan Smith.
Mostly over against Tristan Wirfs.
Right.
And then he had Hendrickson. Okay. So what are you going to do? Move Donovan over to the other side and have him play Cam Jordan all night long?
Right.
Yeah,
he's still there. And because I remember talking with Allie about this idea. Remember when they switched him from right guard to center to left guard? The year they were switching him over to left guard. I asked about that. And he's like, the only difference is it matters with how you turn your hips, and your body will naturally want to step 1 foot forward. And so that's really the adjustment, is it's just how do you turn your hips. Other than that, everything else is kind of the same.
Yeah. It's just the first step.
Yeah.
It's just the first step, because if you're playing right guard, you have to step backwards first with your right leg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the opposite on the left-hand side.
Right.
And it probably takes about 4 reps to get used to.
Right. Now, that being said, I do feel like Tristan Wirfs has blocked Cam Jordan pretty well.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about protecting the blind side, then, I don't know how difficult it really is to switch that footwork and switch those hips. It's not something I ever had to do personally, and I've certainly never had to do it at the level that these guys do. But I don't know. I feel like the ultimate answer is we're still just sort of in the boat that we've been in for this whole time. But Ren, we've got a first for tonight's show. We've got somebody on the phone. Let's take this caller. Thank you for holding on for so very long. You are on the show live here with Brent and Ren. Who do we have here tonight?
Hey, this is Corey from Nashville. I did the video one last time, and I was just trying to see maybe this might have been a little quicker if I did the phone.
Sorry about that, Corey. It's everybody's just lining up. So I'll give you your time, Corey. Go ahead, man. What's your thoughts, brother?
Don't ever apologize for success. If nobody was calling in the show, it's tough.
There you go.
So there you have that. So I was fine holding. But anyway, tonight's game brought my point. The one ball theory. Okay. We were a 3rd overall aerial attack last year with really basically 2 wide receivers. Cam Bray did some things, OJ did some things, but it's just really 2 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
There's one ball and a lot of mouths to feed. And unfortunately, our very best standout superstar, according to Madden, our only X factor wide receiver is really suffering from being able to build a chemistry and rhythm. The target is the problem. That's my issue. And I'm so sick of this shit happening versus Lattimore. Like it really annoys me. I don't know if it annoys me as much as it annoys Mike Evans, but it annoys me that he has these games versus Lattimore where he just can't even get the ball thrown his way. There was times he was open, and those other times Lattimore played the defense. Lattimore was a defensive rookie of the fucking year. I mean, he's a very talented corner when his head is on right. He's not as he's a better version of Jamel Dean, where Jamel Dean is not focused on double move 80% of the time. He's not focused like 30% of the time, and it shows on a team like that. But anyway, that's my biggest issue with tonight's game is the fact that, hey man, I love that they're trying to put all these things in place to help Tom Brady, but it's only one fucking ball. If you don't have trenches taken care of from a schematic and a coaching standpoint, I'm sitting here watching the Saints get in 35, 36, 37, and they were literally throwing the ball 6, 7, 8 yards and getting first down. I'm like, why is somebody open every single fucking time Drew Brees throws the ball? There was
wide
somebody
open.
Not tightly covered. There was somebody open every time. That's dramatic, man. And it worries me. Y'all said something at the beginning of the show that I kind of disagreed with. You know, like throw the film away, burn it, do this. It's hard to do that versus a division opponent. Now, if this happens in a couple weeks versus Kansas City, you're like, man, well, I hope it don't happen. But let's just say hypothetically tonight went fine, or let's say tonight this was Kansas City. You'd be like, shit, we won't see them again, probably to the Super Bowl and probably for another 4 years. You know, it'll be a completely different team next time we see Kansas City. But that little brother, big brother mentality shit, man. Drew Brees was throwing touchdown passes and walking off the field. Like, yeah, it's the fucking Bucs. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that shit was embarrassing, bro. Like,
yeah.
And I'm tired of it being the same. They just beat us in too many important places in the football game. They beat us in special teams. They beat us on the D line. They beat us on the O line every fucking time we play them.
Right.
This is big brother, little brother mentality.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, I talked about throwing the film away, and Brent disagreed with me, and I was just kind of a toss away line. And you're right. You know, you can't.
No, I didn't disagree. I said throw more than the film away. Throw everything away.
Oh, that's right.
but
you're right.
Throw the camera, the guy who shot the film, the guy who put the film in the camera, the person who booked the camera, to get them all out. I don't want any of that juju hanging around. That's.
Would you fillet his skin?
Right.
My name is not Ramsey. No.
I was going to say, would you give him to Ramsey? Would you give him to Ramsey?
Yes, give him to Ramsey. I'm not going to do it myself. Call Sansa.
It's just from a coaching standpoint, it's tough watching a game that we're not prepared for, and it being a division opponent on primetime TV, where 95% of people picking the game picker. Now I got to deal. You know how fucking hard it is, and I know y'all know how hard it is to watch my favorite shows throughout the week now, like Undisputed and First Take. Because now, first of all, we're relevant, and then we get our asses whooped on national TV. Like, I love Undisputed. I don't watch that shit tomorrow. The only thing that's gonna make me feel good is if the Cowboys lose the game. That's the only thing that makes me feel good. The Cowboys lose. Everything, as long as they lose, but I just, it's hard to watch this feeling of the Saints, man. That's really my take. I don't have any more points to make outside of that one ball theory, and we got to focus more on the run game. Rojo he's proven that he needs the ball 15 to 20 times to get going, which is fine because once he gets to that 16, 17, 18, like those 3 straight games with 100 yards rushing, that's when our offense was at its apex. That's when our offense was clicking. Yeah, we had that game against Oakland.
Yeah, Corey, let me stop you on this because this is something that I've been saying for a few weeks, and I know Ren has been in agreement. Rojo needs the ball 20 times a game, 20, 25 times a game.
I've been saying it, and you've been in agreement.
I agree.
Sure, however you want to put it, but it's something we've been saying.
He just looks so strong.
He does.
By the time
now,
he gets that 18,
right. But I will also say this, as we all know from having watched this team for the last however many years you've been watching this team, when you get down. So, and I've seen lots of people in the chat room tonight be like, well, you banned the run game. We banned the run game. Yeah. When you get down 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, you're going to abandon the run game.
Right.
Yeah,
that happened tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
That happened tonight. That's what I'm trying to say. We had to do it tonight.
Well, I thought we didn't submit to it against the Giants either. I thought we really thought we could just air the Giants out, and we didn't even look at the fact that the Giants had the 11th overall ranked defense in the NFL. I knew that game was going to be tough because James Bradbury gives Evans problems, and he was the only receiver out there for us. And James Bradbury is, honestly, I really don't know why we didn't try to go get James Bradbury because of the tear that he caused us in Carolina when he played against Mike Evans. So, but I'll let you guys go, man. Y'all got a lot of callers.
All right, Corey. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, man. Hey, that's what this show has turned into, for better or for worse. So, Corey, thanks so much, buddy. We'll talk to you next week for sure. For sure. All right. Let's see here. Jay is up next. Wait a minute. I don't see Jay there. Frank, let's go to Frank, who has been waiting ever so patiently. Frank, welcome into the show.
Thanks for waiting,
making
Frank.
a return.
Nice shirt.
Hey, great to be. Oh, thank you. Great to be back. Hey, and my wife was already mad at me because of the string of expletives I threw in the first half. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah. So let me start with. Ren stole my thunder. I'm very concerned. I'm not even upset that we lost to the Saints. I was half and half that we were going to win this game. The Saints are a fantastic team, and kind of like what's been happening with people doubting Brady. The people that doubt Drew Brees just boggles my mind. I don't understand where they think he's not great anymore. He showed tonight how fantastic he is. But the thing that concerns me, and Ren brought it up earlier, I'm seeing a trend with this coaching.
Wait a minute, Frank, back up.
Yeah,
back up. Was Breeze really that great tonight? Or was it everybody else around him? Was it his coach? Was it the players that were around him? Was it the fact that our guys couldn't get anything going? Was it really Breeze, or was it everybody else?
I think it was everybody. That's a great point. I think it's everybody, including Breeze, because I think at the end of the day, he's got talent around him. Because it's funny because these teams are almost alike to me, full of offensive talent. They're probably better at running back with Kamara, even though Rojo has been great. But Breeze is able to find all his open receivers, all the people open, like somebody brought up earlier.
Right.
Every I don't understand why we don't use the middle of the field. That was one thing that was frustrating me in the first half of this game. The middle of the field doesn't exist for some reason. Yeah. I don't understand it. And if you watch the Saints, it's the complete opposite. It seemed like every pass Breeze threw was to the middle of the field. They were wide open. To your point, Brent, no one was there covering them. I saw, I don't know how many plays I saw, 3 of them that I could count where there were no Buccaneers in the screen because the Saints receivers were open. So this is a trend that I'm starting to see, and it started with the Giants game. Like I said, ever since the Green Bay game where they played phenomenal, there seems to be a degrading in the level of play and the level of effort, almost, it seems like, too.
Yeah, effort and intensity.
Effort and intensity. And like I said, Ren is right. This is a week-to-week league, but I am seeing some trends that are disturbing. And we're going up against Carolina next week. Now, I know a lot of people are really to write off Carolina. That team is playing hard.
I was going to say, Carolina's been on an uptick lately, haven't they?
Yes, and now they have Christian McCaffrey back. Now they're going to have their best player who now we've done pretty well against him defensively, but from what I've seen tonight, Kamara wasn't a huge factor like he's been against us before, but they didn't even need Kamara that much tonight because they've had everybody else going. And the game plan from Leftwich, I know a lot of people have already criticized that. I don't understand the game plan. Yeah, I don't get it, and I don't
even know what it was. What was it?
Yeah, what was it? And then the other thing was, I don't see.
Look, he didn't get out of his scripted plays until the second half.
Right, so I don't even want to talk about the second half because the second half to me doesn't even exist in the point that
game was over.
We could say
15 plays. You get out until the second half.
Yeah, and because the defense, because I've heard some people, the defense play a little bit better. The second half doesn't even matter. That doesn't even exist to me. What exists to me now is this team seems to come out flat. I don't know why that is. And like I said, I don't care about prime time. I don't care about all that. They came out flat tonight. You're playing against a division opponent. These are the games we need to win. These are the games. These games are important. Like somebody said, if we lose to Kansas City in a couple of weeks, hey, it's Kansas City. And it's an AFC opponent. Now, every game is important, especially when we're in a dogfight now. And now it looks like the chances of us winning the division are minimal unless the Saints collapse. We lose the tiebreakers to the Saints now because we've been swept by them. Hopefully we beat Atlanta twice. But the issue now is I'm seeing a trend that's concerning me. And it started last week. And what I was afraid was going to happen ended up happening. All the plays that Daniel Jones did not make last week, Drew Brees made today.
Yep.
And you see, it was basically the same team from the Giants game to this game. And look what happened. We played a Daniel Jones that couldn't get anybody accurately. We barely win, and we still barely won that game. And now we come in today. Jamel Dean, there was a play at the beginning of the game. Jamel Dean's rushing Drew Brees. He decides that he's going to jump in the air before Drew Brees cocks it, when he could have just kept going and either gotten Drew Brees' face or maybe even gotten a sack. If he got burned on the pad, then you got burned. But he's jumping in the air. Like, you think you're going to fool Drew Brees, who's played for 100 years, on that? And he just made him look silly.
And didn't even jump like in his eyesight. Like,
no, absolutely not.
Like jumped like
I'm like, what
like
are you?
He was
what
trying
are you
to avoid him. But I mean, to his credit, I think he went like 11 yards in the air from where he left to where he landed. I think that was So I mean, we might want to put that up against some combine numbers. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And like I said, I think, and like I said, that's what's concerning me. Like I said, losing to the Saints, there's no shame in that. That's a great football team. If we would have had a dogfight and had a heartbreaking loss, I would have been upset, but I would have understood. I'm like, look, a lot of teams lose to the Saints like that, and I could have been okay with that. And look, I understand we're 6-3. I'm not jumping ship. But there is some disturbing trends, and I think coaches, and this is why this is a great league, defensive coaches, I think, or offensive coaches are starting to figure out where to attack this defense.
Mm-hmm. Frank, I asked that question a handful of weeks ago. Ren pointed out something about kind of the chink in the armor with Todd Bowles' defense, and then we saw it happen the following week. And I don't remember I think we were playing the Chargers that week. And I said, and I asked him, I was like, are coaches starting to figure this out? And I don't even remember what Ren's response was at that point. But that has been sort of,
I said it's probably correct, whatever it was.
I think you said no, they haven't. But regardless, like, I've had this in the back of my head of like, are they figuring out the Todd Bowles defense? Are they figuring that out to where it's just going to become ineffective now? Are they figuring it out like they figured out the Tampa 2? And can Todd Bowles adjust? Because here's what we watched Sean Payton do. Right now, I understand Sean Payton's an offensive coach, but whatever the Bucs were prepared, I can't say that the Bucs went into this game unprepared. I think they were prepared. They just weren't prepared for what Sean Payton threw at them tonight.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Sean Payton adjusted, and it do what?
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was just going to say, Sean Payton is one of the best in-game adjusters, I think, in football. Right. I think he, better than anyone, can adjust his game plan. And this is the difference, I think, between the Arians Leftwich combination and the Sean Payton combination. He sees what's not working and he adjusts on the fly. Where I think we like you said, we go script, and we don't go off script early enough. We go, well, we're gonna work it through. We're gonna work the plan through. But even with that, they didn't run the football before they even got down 20-0. They still they ran it. I think they ran it twice before they got down big.
Yeah, but keep in mind, they went 3 and out. They went 3 and out. 3 and out, and I think they finally got their first down in like the very end of the first half.
Quarter.
Was it as early as the first quarter that they finally got that first down?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, but regardless, like, my point still stand. Like, they went 3 and out a lot, and by the time you get to that third down, so. You're right. They should have ran.
By the time they made a first down, they were down 21-0.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then I know you have to abandon at that point. I get it. Rojo tonight wasn't going to run the football. When you're down 3 touchdowns, that's pretty much a wrap at that point. Because nothing else was working. And then the other problem with going back to Todd Bowles, everything is predicated on a pass rush. If the Buccaneers cannot figure out a way to sustain a pass rush, and I'm not even saying sacks, like. I saw Breeze in the first half. They got one really good pressure. I think it's the one where he ended up fumbling. So it wasn't a sack. They got in his face. He didn't even see it coming. That's when that works, that's when the defense works, because especially now that the secondary has been kind of taking a step backward, the pass rush becomes even more important. Because now if they don't get a pass rush, you're leaving Jamel Dean. You're leaving those guys out on an island. And quarterbacks like Breeze, look, Herbert, they're just going to pick them apart. They're going to pick them apart if there's no pass rush.
Yeah. I think that's another disturbing trend is the Bucs not being able to get home with their 4 defensive linemen. I'm counting their edge guys, their outside linebackers as defensive linemen, like at all. Like no one's winning their one-on-ones. JP's not winning his one-on-ones. Shaq's not winning his one-on-ones. Sue's not winning his one-on-ones, and I don't expect anybody else to win their one-on-ones. Honestly, maybe Golston. No. What am I talking about? No. Like, I'm Nacho, McClendon, none of those guys are going to win their one-on-ones. So that's also disturbing. And
Ren, I think you're forgetting about Patrick O'Connor.
Nope.
Nope.
Not.
All right. Khalil Davis.
He's been active one game and didn't even play.
Anthony Nelson.
He's not winning his one-on-ones either.
Chris Baker.
Okay. So, that's a disturbing trend. Like them playing off and playing zone early is a disturbing trend. Not going after. And this has happened before the Green Bay game, where it was like, okay, I guess we just give teams a 10-point lead and then we decide to start to play.
Yes.
It happened. Like it happened against Green Bay. It also happened against the Raiders. And then we've been slow out of the gate. Like, come at him right away. Like, I don't understand. And it's something that this is even last year, Todd Bowles, whereas I'm going to play base vanilla defense to see what you're going to do. Like, no, like go at him right away. Like that's what he had to do, which I don't understand, because you hear that. And then you hear the Green Bay game where he's like, hey guys, he's the one who told them to go at him. Well, don't you make the calls to make them go after Aaron Rodgers? But he gathered them together and goes, make us beat us. Don't give him that kind of respect. And then the Bucs, shut him out. So I don't know. The trend of the defensive line not playing well. I'm okay with the rush defense, even though we did get hit on the edges a little bit. I'm not ready to sort of bag on the DBs, but just like the uninspired effort and just the slow, no intensity from now both sides of the ball. Like the Bucs used to come out and drive right down and score. Now, this is 2-3 games in a row where the offense has not looked good starting the game. I mean, not like, the drive stalled. I'm talking like you can't get 3 yards. And these are your scripted plays. And the other team's marching down the field and getting touchdowns on us because the defense is coming out flat. So, yeah, it's frustrating, But at the end of the day, like you said, Frank, we're 6-3. We're going to make the playoffs. But when it was like, this was sort of like for the Buccaneers to put the rest of the league and the other fan bases on notice, like, hey, all the stuff ESPN, NFL, Fox Sports have said since the offseason, it's all true. And here's why. Yeah. And it was the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite.
That used to bother me a lot more. I could give a crap about what ESPN says. I'm a Bucs fan, true and true, bad and good. So if they want to bag on us, that's fine. We bag on our team because it's like family to us. But what I want to say, because I know you got a lot of callers, I just wanted one quick couple points to what Brent said about Mike Evans. I don't know. I agree with you, Brent. I don't know what's going on with Mike Evans and Tom Brady. I don't get it. He is, and I love Chris Godwin. Don't get me wrong. Mike Evans is our best receiver. He still is. Maybe Chris Godwin will become that in the future. Mike Evans is the now, and he needs to be targeted as much as possible. I don't understand. Yeah. And to bring up Jameis, say what you want about Jameis, and I have my issues with Jameis. 50-50 balls, he had no qualms throwing to Mike, sometimes to his detriment, but Mike, more than not, will make those plays. And we're not getting him the ball. The second thing, the offensive line, I'm going to agree too. I thought Joe Haig played fine. Even on the play where he got beat on the sack, what I saw from him, what you don't see from Donovan Smith, is effort. So even on the play that he got, until the end of the play, he got by him. It wasn't great. But other than that, I didn't see his name called. What I could see, I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought most of the line was fine. Donovan Smith, it's already been said. I'm not even going to add to that. We all know what he is. He's never going to be more than what he is. And unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with that until the offseason and how we figure out how to fix that position. I mean, there's nothing more to even say about that. But I'll let you guys go. I know you got a lot of callers.
Frank,
I really appreciate it.
Hang on, because I want to hear you talk about this. We got another super chat that's come in. Positing a theory on this super chat here. Garvey sends another one, says, Todd Bowles was told not to blitz so that when we get to the NFC Championship, we'll blitz them all day then and they won't expect it coming. What do you think?
Oh, that's insane.
I think this one's out there personally, but
that's insanity. Look, here's the thing. I know what fans do. And look, I'm guilty of it as well. If he blitzes and we get burned, we're going to burn him for blitzing all the time. I get it. I probably even said it myself. Right. But what I've seen now with the trend, if it was me and if I was the coach, I would say, look, we're going to go all out. When we blitz all out, if we're going to lose, let's lose on effort and trying to get to the quarterback and trusting that our secondary, which is vastly improved, can get it done. We'll win more than we lose. That's the way I would look at it. Attack, attack, attack. If it doesn't work, then adjust. This is the thing. We're going to what Ren's point was earlier about vanilla. Why are you starting vanilla for? We're playing a division opponent, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Make him uncomfortable. And listening to the broadcast tonight. What did they quote Sean Payton? Whichever team gets to the other quarterback is going to win the game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. They got to Brady.
Yeah.
Brady, and Brady, any quarterback, he never looked comfortable from the get-go. He never looked comfortable. And that's what you do. That's what we did to Aaron
He didn't
Rodgers.
look comfortable last week at all either.
Agreed. Aaron Rodgers looked lost. When Jamel Dean got that pick six, Aaron Rodgers, I think that half took him out of the game, and then the pressure, forget it. I knew we were going to win that game. Like, I knew it.
Yeah.
And I've never felt it that early in the game. Like, we're going to win this game. Here, I felt the opposite. When I saw them come out lethargic and uninspired, I'm telling you right now, when it was 14-0, and I threw out a string of expletives that made my wife all upset, I knew it was done, because I'm like, what are they going to do differently to come back in this game? Like, I never felt that they were engineering some momentum where I'm going, all right, they're down 14-0. It's still early. They're going to get back in. I never, ever felt that at all.
Yeah.
I just felt that they were being dominated, coaching-wise, outplayed, outclassed in all levels. I never felt that they were in this game.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And just to finish up on that comment, that super chat by Garv, Sean Payton had his team ready for Todd Bowles blitzes this game. They just didn't do it. So he'll have them ready. Like, if they work, we'll see if it happens and they get to him. But they practiced all week on these Todd Bowles blitzes, like every team does. So it's not, there's no like, what? Like, what? They're blitzing? Like, who? Like, you don't catch teams like that off guard. You just don't. It's Jimmys and Joes and schemes and coaches. That's it. Yeah. And for some reason, and you hate, because I hate him so much. That's not true. I just really dislike him. Punchable face, like everyone likes to say about Sean Payton. I don't want to say that he's such a better coach than us, than what we had or have or ever had. Yeah. But for some reason, whatever he dials up offensively, and whatever Greg Williams dials up defensively, it just works. And we're so slow to adjust. That's what's the most frustrating part, is everybody can see what they're doing. Like when Taysom Hill came in, I go, he's going to throw it, because he's ran it every single time he had the ball this year. Yeah. So Sean Payton's been saving that for us to come in, and he's going to throw it. And he did. And it's like, and everyone acted like, oh my God, like Devin White felt like Jared Cook's 37 years old and Dan White couldn't keep up with him. No, like and he was in trail the whole time. Like, it wasn't a hard route. It's just like, God.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And he's scheme up. But yeah, Sean Payton, punchable face. I agree. He's aggressive. That's the thing. He's aggressive. And he's like, we're going to attack, and we're going to, like you said, they're going to blitz us. We're going to attack that blitz. Whatever they do, we're going to be ready to attack. And that's what they do. They're always on the attack. I never feel the Saints are not on the attack. They're always attacking.
People talk about running up the score. Like, no, they just don't stop. The game's still going. They just don't stop. And call it whatever you want. I mean, we heard what was his face? He was here with his coach years ago, Robert Ayers, right? After the Chicago Bears game a couple years ago. I think it was the year we had that hurricane that threw everything off. And he's like, you got to put your foot on their throat and stomp. And that's what Sean Payton does. And while I really detest him, I don't like him. I don't like the Saints. I don't like their organization. Some of their fans are fine. But I don't like I can't explain to you the vitriol that I feel for several of their players, one player in particular. I can't, and I'm not a person who hates people. I just don't. But I don't like these guys at all. That said, I respect how they play football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him as a coach. I just think he's a dick. I think he's a bad person.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, well, look, he's a Bill Parcells disciple, which is one of my favorite coaches of all time. He comes from that. Yeah, he comes from that tree. And, and that tree. No, and I agree with you. I'm not a Sean Payton fan as a person. And it's like I said, but his teams are prepared. They adjust. He's innovative. Look, he's got Taysom Hill, where I think in 30 other teams he wouldn't even be a factor. But because Sean Payton sees what he can use him for, they keep him. They pay that dude, and the dude delivers because he knows what he can do. And they put him, which is the whole point of coaching, they put him in positions to succeed. That's what coaching is supposed to be. And that's why I feel the Bucs sometimes are like, I don't think we have bad coaches. I just think there are some deficiencies in putting people in positions to win vis-a-vis Mike Evans not getting the ball.
Our offensive defensive game plans have not been good the past 2 weeks.
No, agreed. Not at all.
Not been good.
All right, Frank, you got anything else for us, buddy?
No, guys, you guys do a great job. I love your show. It's great to be back. I haven't been on in a while, so I love doing the video chat. Thanks for having me on and keeping me on.
Talk to you next week, okay, man?
Absolutely. I'll be back.
Better.
Thanks,
You got it. Take care.
All right, Ren.
I
think that's going to do it for us.
That's it?
That's it. I want to say thanks to everybody who called in tonight, video chatted in. Most of you guys were on hold for a really long time. Like everybody lined up at the beginning and then just sort of stayed with us. So thank you guys for that. And to those who didn't, sorry. And for everybody who's joined us in the chat room, guys, thank you all so much. Ren, I'm not going to do a big, long, drawn out thing, but we always do swords and skulls.
Yep.
I don't even know how you're going to parse this one out tonight, but go ahead and throw them both out there. Your swords and skulls on the night.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Sword is the good one. So who's my MVP? I picked Brady before. That was my predictive MVP. And let's see. Who didn't screw up the most? I'm giving my sword to Alex Kappa.
All right.
Because no one on the defense can get it. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you had a good game or not.
Not even Levante, right?
I'm not giving it to Pinion because, I really think he could have punted the ball a little further and could have really helped us out earlier. And I'm not giving
Suckup made points. He didn't miss his kick.
Don't care. That's just not enough.
Right.
The only reason he was out there kicking was because they didn't want to have a goose egg on the board.
Yep.
Like he should have never been out there anyway.
Yep.
And then my skull, oh my God. Jesus. Should I give it to Bowles or Leftwich? I'm gonna give it to the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I'm giving the skull to the coaching staff. And it's more of an accumulative grade because I don't like to overreact. Oh, you guys are the worst. Something needs to happen. BA needs to get out of town. Like people were doing to me on Twitter, literally 8 minutes into the Raiders game, telling me BA needed to go, take his coaches with him, worst head coach ever. And it's like, what?
No, guys, no.
And what do we end up winning?
9 games in, and we're 6-3. 9 games in, and we've already beat 3 of the 4 years that Dirk Cutter was head coach here.
Yeah.
No, he's
we
not the worst coach, guys. He's not.
Yeah. Okay, Brent. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we were 8 minutes into the Raiders game where we ended up winning 35-10 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
No, 45-20 or something, whatever. Anyway,
right. It was close to the Super Bowl score. Not quite.
Yeah. So the point being is that it's an accumulative between the coaches, and I'm giving it to both sides, offense and defensive, because uninspired, uncreative game plans. And not only that, the game plan that you spent all week was trash because the other team, who's one of the worst in the NFL, out schemed you, had a better scheme, knew what your scheme was going to be, and then out schemed you and made you switch gears. One, you did it and you barely won. The second one, you didn't do it at all. And you put up a whopping 3 points. So sword, Kappa, because I didn't hear his name all night long. And then skull to the offensive and defensive coaching staffs.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing in Armstrong too, because our special teams have been terrible all year long. They're just bad.
Yeah.
We can't cover punts. We're just bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I tell you mine, I want to tell you my favorite one that I've seen in the chat. There's a lot of people that are throwing in the chat. Most of the people are saying exactly what we're saying, so I'm not going to put everybody up on screen, but it's mostly coaching staff. Several people for stuck up. Some people are like, yeah, just give it to Kappa. My favorite one was earlier. It said the numbskull, the bad one is the Buccaneers, and the sword is the fans. I liked that one a lot. I like that one a lot. But here's the thing.
How would you have liked to been like one of your 2 games you get to go to?
No. Mm-mm.
It's raining on you.
No. Mm-mm. Nope. I've been.
You got to go to work tomorrow.
Look. I'm not joking. Look now. Some of mine is the fact that I don't live in Tampa. Right.
Yeah.
What it takes for me to come to a game as a season ticket holder is not just the price of the tickets to the games. It's everything else that goes with a 3.5 hour trip down. Yeah. And I usually stay overnight somewhere and time off from my family and arranging childcare and all that. And then busting my ass to get back here so that we can do this show. Right. That's usually what it entails for me. I would have been livid. And I have left that stadium livid too many times in the last 4 years that I've been here. Yeah. 3-4 years that I've been here. It's not, and this would have been one of those for me.
It absolutely like where you want to drive straight.
I'm not renewing my tickets next year.
Yeah,
I'm calling
my drive straight to the ticket office, knock on the door, and go. I would like my money back for the rest. I want my ticket. I want my money prorated back right now. Right. And if you shake your head no, I swear to God, I'm going to beat you with the shovel I have in my hand.
That's exactly the way I would feel. Yeah. Yes. I get it. And hey, shout out to Bill, my ticket rep. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I would have been pissed. I mean, Ren, I have walked into that stadium and I have been pissed from warm-ups before. Like, oh yeah, like I know what it is. And like I saw like our friends over.
Did you get all mad because like the other team's warm-ups were more organized than ours?
It was more than that. I think it was one of those games. Like I knew that it was going to be a bad game. Like walking into it,
walking in because it's like 3-1 other teams fans.
Right. It just
get out there. Remember, I used to get so upset when Gerald McCoy would go to the middle of the field with his helmet off, just so everyone could see him, and he'd go pray.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. All right, Swords and Skulls. So I like that one. By the way, I saw our friends over at Loose Cannons, Sammer and Stank and Poppy and X, where they got club seats, and Stank sent out something was like, I just paid $225 to come sit out here in the rain and watch this, and I'm like, I get it. I get it.
I think I think they're sitting right where you used to.
They might.
I mean, it's like really close. Yeah.
They were in that area. Anyway, my skull. I think I like the idea of the whole team gets it. There's not a good one, at all. And for the sword, I'm not even giving a sword. Like I'm not going to.
I take mine back. Kappa, you don't get a sword. You should not get a sword for doing just the bare minimum.
No, you should. No
one gets a sword. I'm with you.
Look, when I get to the end of a game and I give out game balls as a coach, it's not, hey, you sucked the least today.
Right.
No. You have to have done something special to really help the team that changed the momentum, changed the tide, locked the game with something that gave extra effort. And just doing what you normally do, while admirable, does not get you a game ball. And that's not going to get you a skull. And nobody gets a skull tonight. So my skull is no one. And if you want to give it to the fans, that's cool. God bless you all for going out there because you don't get refunds on that shit. So anyway, and I do like this one. I will put this one up. Our friend Charles says the sword goes to the PewterCast because we have had the best performance of the night.
True.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. And I would like to say a special thank you. I didn't even know that this was turned on and that people could do it. And I'm really glad that they were. The people who did super chat, and especially Garv, who did like 8 of them tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are awesome. That was super cool. And actually, I kind of liked almost being forced to pull those in and talk about that, especially on a night like tonight where I'm like, I know what they're talking about. With that, Ren, we'll be back later this week. We'll be back at the end of the week with Buck in the News. We'll be back next week doing this again, hopefully in a much better mood after a victory. Win, lose, or draw, we'll be back here one way or the other. You guys can join it. Are we prime time again next week, Ren?
I hope not.
Are we? Because I know the week after that we're back on Monday night.
No, we're playing the Panthers. But it's prime time.
That can't be prime time, right? Okay, but I know the week after that we're at Monday night. So anyway, we'll be back as clock hits 000. So you guys make sure you come in and join us for that. Ren, take us out of here, pal.
Best place to find me is on Twitter at Rendax, REN_DAXT. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football. I'm stopping. That's it.
And if you guys want to get in touch with me, you find me at Brent.
No sliding to my DMs this week.
Yeah.
They're off limits.
Yeah. The slide is closed.
The slide is closed
due to COVID.
Sorry, folks, the park is closed. The move's out front.
You don't have kids, so you wouldn't know this. Pretty much, at least in where I live, every slide in every public park is closed.
How do you close a slide?
Like they put a piece of cardboard up like over the entrance to the slide and say, "Sorry, can't go in here." I'll send you a picture of it one day.
That works?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, kids stay away from it. So,
dude, oh man, like, well, I grew up a little differently, but I mean, like, first off, we would just rip that down, and then, like, if it went up again, we would have found where the guy lived and egged his house. Like, who keeps putting that sign up? Like, how do you close a slide? Was it too hot? Do they come out there with a thermometer? I mean, like, what do you?
I don't understand why the rest of the play set is open and the slide is closed, but it says it's due to COVID stuff left over. What I really think is they probably put that up when they closed the parks, like when they shut down the whole state. Yeah. And when they reopened them, nobody went and picked it up, and nobody's like gone to get it out yet. That's what I think. Anyway, all that to say, the slide in Ren's DMs is closed for the week, so don't try it. I'm Brent Allen live across all the social medias. That's at the PewterCast for the show. Email. Shout out to mybookie.ag. Use promo code overtime, and that's all I'm going to say because you guys know the ad read because you heard it on 15 other podcasts.
Yes,
and we'll be back later this week. Until next time, guys. Yeah. Good night, guys.
Come on, you gotta go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
There it is.
I'm sorry. You know what I feel right now? You remember that there was like a picture of a guy who, like, a grumpy old man who's like sitting out in the rain at a bus stop.
Are we in overtime right now?
We're in overtime right now.
Would that be the special word you use at MyBookie?
Maybe. Yes. Okay. This is the MyBookie ad right now. Okay. It's the you guys out there know it's the grumpy old guy sitting at a bus stop and it's raining and he's holding an umbrella, but he's holding it out over the person next to him. It turns out it's actually like a Bucs flag. And the caption just reads, "Just because I'm mad doesn't mean I don't care." That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel right now.
Okay.
Go Bucs.